Hey everyone, I'm Wa.
And I'm Chris, and welcome to Docu-Sweeties.
We're two longtime friends who discuss the riveting and sometimes trashy world of reality TV and docuseries.
Yes, but through our own lens, which is, peppery and salty, very, very bitter, acidic sometimes, but at the end of the day, hopefully mildly sweet. Hi.
Hi.
Hi. Hi there, be sweet.
Okay, so we are talking about 90 Day Fiancé Before the 90 Days, Season 6, Episode 11, Saint Elmo's Fire.
Did you
Another
watch?
80s, right? Is it 80s?
Yeah. Oh. Did you watch? I didn't watch it. Did you watch it?
This episode? Yes.
I'll kill you all.
I know. Sorry. Saint Elmo's Fire? No.
What if that was my way of being like, oh, I didn't watch this episode, and then we had to stop the podcast and we watch it? Yeah, no, I know.
No, what we would do, I would just do it and I'd tell you to just give me your best impression.
Improv. Mm-hmm. Yeah. What if I just improved recapping an episode that I did not watch?
Okay, let's try it.
Well, I did watch this one.
No.
Another time. Okay, Amanda, and by the way, I love this episode. I think it was a great episode.
Oh, you did think it was a great episode?
I thought it was great. What do you think?
It was a little hard for me. It wasn't as fun. I don't like Amanda, and so she was a person I don't like. And then Gino and Jasmine, it was like there was a nice little therapy moment. I liked that. And then Tyree, this is sad. Yeah. All right, let's just start.
Yeah. I guess it could be things got done this episode that needed to get done, and people came to their goddamn senses. So let's get into Amanda and Razvan, as you said. Now it's the morning, and it's morning of something, and he's exhausted, honey. He's very tired. He was like me last night. Yesterday. Very tired. Just wants to sleep all day. He's just, he's had a night before. She's wearing she's wearing leggings that are like the butt. Okay, it's like if you're wearing army fatigue biker shorts on top of striped leggings. It's such an interesting look. But anyway, they let it be known, honey, in the most anti-Christian and Chloe way, that they've been fucking all night long. Both of them been fucking. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? It's not the same kind of vibe. But anyway.
Do you think that he rocked her world?
It's interesting. No.
Yeah.
I think that if he did, it would be a different situation.
Yeah. She's horrible. They get up and they go to a place that he considers romantic because he's like it's Bram's Castle. And she's like, oh, and she has no idea what Bram Stoker's Dracula is. And so he's like, yes, it's like Dracula. It's nice. It's romantic. So she's like, okay. And so they go there, and then he is doing the damn thing. He's like, yo, I have questions. And you're going to sit in this interrogation seat and you're going to answer those questions. Did you see that seat? Like, could you imagine anyone like sitting there? No, they would have to like force the person to sit there, and like, it's like the sharpest, dullest pieces of wood you've ever seen, right?
The sharpest, dullest?
Yeah, it was like they looked sharp enough to impale, but dull enough to really hurt when they do impale.
Yeah, like this is every part of this is crazy. It's funny to me because again, she has no idea which he there's so a mismatch, and he expects her to be like either no books or no literary things, not at all, and appreciate something that he's going to do for her, which I don't know why, because everything that he's ever done for her has always been just, not at all appreciated. And she, it's hilarious. Also, the way that he says castle. He hits that T so funny. So
he does the S. That's what it is. It's because he's reading it.
Castle?
Yes. So he's reading it, and he's like, when people have English as their second language, English is the dumbest language with how it spells things and how like it takes from all these other different languages. And so the S is, it's castle. Like the T is silent, and he says it because he doesn't know. So it's cute. But like, he's like, hey, now that my visa got approved, when is it a good time for you to tell your kids? And she's like, I don't know. And he's like, that's not a good enough answer because I have a visa to go to America and I'm going to go see you and you need to tell me. Now, here's the truth. She's so lucky that he's able to get a visa on his own. Do you know how many folks have to marry to get that person to come into the world?
She probably wishes that he did have to. She wishes that probably that she could have a little more control when she got the visa. He got it so fast and she doesn't need her. So now she can't even control that he wants to suddenly move into her home. Like he's a little bit of a Statler that way. He wants her to tell her kids so that he can just have a place to come to America and do the visa thing and also be an actor and stuff like that. Like that is, and he also has very much said that he wants to just be friends with the kids. Now, I think it would have been very smart producering if at some point the producers were like, hey, Amanda, have you ever just like asked Razvan like exactly specifically if he wants to be a father figure to your kids? Because like that'd be like really interesting if you had that conversation. Like I'm also surprised that didn't happen. But instead what happens, of course, is that we get a fight that happens off camera, and then we don't get to see any of what was said, really. We just get a he said, she said, like summer nights, and then whatever, which is annoying because they aren't right for each other and there are issues. And so, yeah, I'm happy that we get, I guess, in-depth recaps of what their conversation was, but how I would have loved to have watched it, I don't know, because I've invested in 11 episodes of a docuseries, Matt Sharp.
I mean, they showed us the remnants, right? They showed us the bathtub, the water bottle, the towel on the ground. I mean, the wine bottle, the towel on the ground. So they wanted to set the scene for us. They said, hey, you guys got in a fight. Don't pick up or clean anything.
Crime scene.
Correct. So it's also
don't shower, honey.
Nothing,
don't.
Yeah. So then we get a shot of her in what seemingly a hotel bathroom. It's a bathroom with a full sink, so she could put her items down and she doesn't have to freak out. So I'm like, okay, you guys stayed at a hotel, and then now you're meeting him in the park where a fly is just attacking his drink, and he's crying and telling us that, she compared him to Jason, which is a shitty thing on her part. And she admitted that she said some things, but she does not give a fuck that she said them. Mm-hmm. She's like, I don't think Razvan understands like how to deal with a woman who's like newly widowed and gone through something traumatic and also has kids, and how to be like a newly widowed with kids. I don't think he knows that. And so I think we're two broken people who are just trying to like find each other. And I'm just like, I just blame her completely, because she bought a ticket to Hungary or wherever she is, Bulgaria. Where is she at? I don't know. Budapest. She bought a ticket, Budapest. Mm-hmm. She bought a ticket there, went for 3 weeks, and is telling this man, I don't think I want you to meet my children.
You know what? I disagree with you. Well, I will say this. She's been insufferable the whole time, and so I agreed with you the whole time. This is the one time where I feel like she got a fucking clue. I think that she got scared about the visa thing. I think that she also wasn't very impressed with his sex. And so I think that she was kind of like, I don't want this guy to just come live with me and the kids and then just like literally not make any money, want to be an actor. And then I have to like support him because he has nothing going for him. And no, I don't want to.
No, I get you. I think you're right for that. I think you're right. I just think that the way it all came about was dumb. Like, she didn't have to do all of this for that. And also, like, the tourist visa is what, max 3 months? So he's not moving there. He's just going to visit her. And I get that she doesn't want him to stay at her house, but she needs to just say that as opposed to making him feel inadequate. Right? Like, yeah, no one is going to live up to Jason's standards. She probably did all kinds of like crazy, nasty things with Jason before they even had kids, where this is now the person you give everything to. And now someone new is coming into her life. And maybe it was different. Maybe she didn't feel as cuddly wuddly, or like, they didn't have the time. She went there on her period, so they didn't have sex for that, first couple of nights, which is fine. I just feel like she is being a bitch about handling it. She's being bitchy. I'm not saying she's being bitchy. Like, to throw things in his face and tell him he's not like Jason. I mean, when she can just say, look, when you come to the US, you can't just pursue acting. You're going to have to get a job. But he's only there on a visa, so he can't get a job. So this is why I don't understand what the argument is.
You know what? I see your point. Yeah, she didn't do a lot of things right. Like I think that she literally was like, I want to come, like, see what this guy's like travel a little bit, just get the hell out of like my life and these kids and the death or dead daddy box. And he makes me feel some sort of way and how exciting this is. And I've never been to Budapest, and he's hot, and I get there, and listen, he's actually a whole person, and he wants things too. And what he wants, I don't know if I want to give it. And I'm just going to be, and I think that anyway, not having said that, she is selfish and immature and has the emotional IQ of like someone who is much younger than her, and all of that is very scary. So I don't think that she has the wherewithal to have like the grace to empathize with him and make him feel validated. I think that she is clinging onto her mind on the thing that like what feels good for her is that they're just a mismatch or whatever. And in her very like toxic feminine, you know, minuscule mind, she's like, well, Jason made money and, you know, like he did anything for the family, and this guy wants to not be a man, so I'm just gonna like tell him why he's not right for me, so I don't feel bad about why I'm breaking up with him, and he sees why we're not a match. He's not a match for me because he won't make money for me like my dead husband. You know, like I think that that's literally her train of thought, which is, girl, I mean, it's like, it's as small as, the city that she was conceived in. You know what I'm saying? It's just, that's why she should go back. She's not for this world.
Yeah. She's not. And I don't think he understands how country she is. Not country, but how like far away from the city she is, how different her life is. I think he just thinks America, and he's like thinking some kind of city, or maybe she doesn't live far from the city. But let me tell you, I'm in the part of America where you step 1 foot outside the city and it is farmland. Chris, you can attest. We drove in and we were like, farm, big ass candy store, city. We're like, what happened? How did the city just come upon us when it's literally surrounded by miles of cornfields? So he's silly. Okay, that's all I have to say about him.
You know what? Why don't we let a commercial say something?
Wow. Thanks, Chris. That was great. Okay, we're back, and let's just start talking about The Other Way, because just kidding. I keep looking on their pictures and I keep wanting to tell you and ask you, who is this? But it's the wrong show.
Yeah, we will never know.
I wonder know.
I have a feeling that like, did those people just get on the cutting room floor, or conversely, it'd be even funnier if like they started the season and found something really nefarious about one of them, and like they were just like, holy shit, like once it gets out that like one of them killed someone, or I don't know, like hates Jesus, or whatever it is, like I don't know what, whatever they can think is, I don't know, but how interesting.
I mean, yeah, it can't get any worse than Angela Deem. So like, what do they do? Okay, so back to before the 90 days. You want to move on to them?
Yeah, sure.
Oh my God. This one was hard.
I know it. It's interesting because
Cleo and Christian, guys. Cleo and Christian.
We're talking about Cleo and Christian, and then Cleo, wait. Yeah. Sorry. You keep putting Chloe and it's like making me crazy. Or I put Chloe. Is it Chloe or Cleo?
It's Cleo. Maybe I put it. Oh, it's Cleo.
Wait, I wrote these notes, or did I write these notes? Okay, I'm so sorry. I love you. Okay. All right, babes. So whoever this person is has a friend named Jane. I don't mean like, but we're gonna have to like edit.
Yeah, no, I'm editing. So you just start whenever you're ready. I'm ready with a pen.
Okay, so here's the situation. We don't know what happened. It's one of those things where conversations happen off camera and then it becomes like a he said, she said situation where it's confusing and vague and I don't really know.
Folks, we're talking about Cleo and Christian. You're right, Chris. I really don't know. Here's what I think I know. I think I know that what happened is he texted her something that he didn't need to text her. And so she freaked out. And so she called him and he was unable to answer her questions in a satisfactory, or at least calm her down and get her to understand where he's coming from. I think that's what happened. He didn't do his best to abate her fears. And so her mind started spinning. Now this is what I'm saying, folks, is only if his version of the story is true. Okay? Because he tells the story, which Jane does not believe. Jane does not believe that Christian did what she thinks that he's trying to save his face or something she said that was hilarious. So we have a situation where she and her friend Jane, Chloe and Jane, are going to, I'm sorry, Cleo and Jane, they are going back to her apartment to, she needs like a, I don't know, like a security friend or something, you know, like how some folks have, like, you know, you get nervous and you just like hug this pillow. That's who Jane is. Jane is for her. Jane is the person that's just like hugging the pillow, allowing her to be comfortable when she's talking to Christian because of her autism. So they get into the home and he immediately feels attacked. I've never had someone feel so attacked so soon in a conversation. He's like, I feel like you've already gotten a different point of the story. And, you know, I'm having to just kind of like come in and defend myself. And I said to myself, why do you feel like you need to defend yourself to her friend? That feels weird that you are already feeling like, oh, well, she's already been telling people that I'm this bad guy. Like he's so worried about his image and the image that's projected and coming off. It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I guess in my mind, I'm like, well, there is 2 against 1. And that person, it's hard though, because if he feels like he has a side of the story, it's hard to have 2 against 1, because then you have 2 people that know one side of the story going against you. And if they're both talking at you, it's like, why do I have to do both of you? It just, no, I don't think that does feel fair, you know, like, I don't think, but it's like this. I tend to believe that Christian is weird and vaguely lying about how he was feeling. I tend to feel that Cleo was right, but I don't know exactly what it was. It's that they had sex and there was penetration of some kind. This is what I like. And then Christian on camera made it seem like they only went to second base, which to us makes it feel like touching boobies or whatever he feels like second bases, you know, but obviously not home run, which in the, as we talked about, the patriarchal heterosexual version of what sex means is some sort of penetration, which negates lesbian sex. And anyway, so it's like that part is already a little murky. And then what we get into is whether what they actually did, and then but Cleo says that it was definitely sex, and that they had had a conversation where Cleo said that she would be open to discussing whatever it is. We know as watchers that they have to assume that the 90 Day producers are going to ask them about their sex life. They're on a dating and relationship show. So Christian also then had to have known that at some point they might also ask him, because they've been asking him the whole time, like, have you guys kissed yet or whatever? He knows that they're interested in the physical contact of this. Christian then, of course, to producers says they didn't penetrate, they didn't have sex. And then at some point they have a conversation where Christian says, oh no, Cleo, I just wanted to see, I only lied because I thought you wouldn't be comfortable. And Cleo's like, I have only told you that I am very comfortable being open and honest. And what Cleo, I think, also wants to say is, and as a transgendered woman, you should know that it's incredibly hurtful for you to deny any part of our sexual relationship, and you are not being sensitive to that. And it's a very paramount thing. And that is a very big truth that I don't think is being said either. And I also feel like Cleo then is like, I also am autistic and I don't know if I'm reading things right. And I'm in the moment. I have all these feelings. I need Jane to be there to kind of like bounce off. But she knows it's not like, I think that she knows it's not very nice to Christian, who she's had a full thing with. So then she does say certain things in some sort of conversation. Again, I don't mean to like, about the gaslighting. So then we see this conversation where Christian's like, Jane, can you go off to the side, go on to a different room? He talks to Cleo and he's like, you said these things and I don't think they're right. And if you say these things to me, I don't think I can be in a relationship with someone who either thinks or says these things to me, which is one way of putting, I'm like, that's interesting. But we also have Cleo, who desperately wants to be in a relationship. Cleo right now is not in a space where Cleo is owning her power to be like, I need days to think about it or whatever. Cleo is experiencing the dread of losing this connection. And I think it's clouding her judgment of being able to like really feel what she's feeling, because him saying that starts to make her like second guess what she said and how she feels. And then so when Jane comes back, Jane doesn't know if things have been like okayed, because Christian's like, Jane, thank you so much for coming over. Everything's kind of like chill here now, like love to meet you in a different environment. And she's like, okay, Cleo, is that what it is? And Cleo's like, it's like, it's weird, right?
It is weird. I think you're absolutely correct. I think you keyed into the exact situation that's going on, where she had to give up what she was feeling because she didn't trust her feeling, and because he doesn't want to be called a gaslighter or psycho. This is what she called him, or said something alluded to that, and it upset him. And so she was acknowledging his feelings in that moment, because he was like, I love you. I want this to work. And I would never deny our relationship. I was just trying to cover you. But we all know that is not true. And so like, that's why in the beginning I was talking about, this is his person. This is what the story he's spinning. And then like the story she is talking about is that I just think that it's somewhere in between. I think that her feelings are valid, but I believe that when you tell someone that they're gaslighting you, or you tell them that they're being psycho, you need to say that to their face. And like, for me, there are things and words that people can say to me that they can't come back from. And so I understand his point of view in that moment of like feeling like he's being attacked and he doesn't understand why. And I understand that we're watching two young people like traverse and go through a situation on TV where one is ready and one is not. And one needs alcohol in order to communicate and feel like they're okay, and one doesn't. Like, it's just very, very interesting to watch their interaction. And I think that we are supposed to have some kind of sympathy for him for going through this. But because I know trans people and I like roam in a world that is LGBTQIA positive adjacent, that I don't feel sorry for him. Like, and I think a certain contingency of the country may feel sorry for him.
Yeah, I think I don't feel sorry for him. I mean, I feel this conversation, I'm like, well, we don't know. This conversation is very vague because we don't know both sides to make a pure judgment on this argument. What we've seen thus far, of course, I like Cleo more than her. I'm sorry, I like Cleo more than him, and I feel like she can do better than him, and I feel like he's just he's not right for her. He's not good enough for her. That's what I would feel like. And so I think overly made me upset when every time that she made it seem like she was less than him, and she's not anyway.
Yeah, that's true. So I think that's the end of them, right?
Yeah. We want to go on to Gino and Jasmine.
Sure.
Can we just talk about this? Okay, so it opens and they're making babes fresh empanadas. Like I want to go to Panama so bad. I want to go to Panama. I want to go to Panama so bad. I'm like, don't even care if I like run into her. I'm out there. Like, they also make Jasmine look. Jasmine has her best, I think, episode in that she seems at least the most rational at one point in this episode as opposed to the entire season. But oh my God, they're making those empanadas. They're so fresh. Of course he wants a bean one. Farty McFarts a lot. He's just like, give me that bean dip one. Make sure there's a bean dip empanada.
Yes, wow. Jasmine, bean dip empanada. I'm in Panama. So she and him are doing this cute little thing. They're having a moment where they're all being cutie tootsies. Then they go and they walk on some like treacherous terrain, which she says that she can walk on with heels. And I don't believe her. But then also the camera pans back and he is dressed like the grandpa of the grandpas. Okay. This man has on some kind of tropical short sleeve shirt. And then underneath that, he's got on a long navy like long sleeve shirt, and then he's got on these horrible 90s jeans with dirty white shoes, and he's just like like all giggling the entire time. Chris, it is too much. Also, you need to hear Jake's impersonation of Gino.
Oh yeah,
I Okay, great. I do the spirit of Gino, and Jake actually does Gino.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, Jake is like a musical genius.
Yeah, his ear is fantastic.
I know it.
We're talking about Jake from Reality Gaze, in case you're wondering.
Well, they call him Poodle.
Oh, okay, yeah, Poodle, Poods. Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys, that we're like friends. So it's like, I love him so much, yeah. But it's like so funny because I don't call him Poodle, and so there's people, someone, and like, just side note, sorry, it's like I'm getting my hair done on Tuesday, and like my hair person is this like lovely, like hot ass like colorist at Chris McMillan Salon in Beverly Hills, and she worked with me at Real Food Daily, like which is the same place I worked in the Elmo story happened. God bless. I've known her for years. I worked with her at Real Food Daily. Her name was Kirsa. Okay, Kirsa. I can say her name because she's like here says her real name. But you should go see her at Chris McMillan. She goes by Casey, KAC, like her initials. And so it's just when you have to like change the way that someone's name,
Yeah, no, it's very interesting. Yeah, they do call him Maddie and Poodle is what it is. And I don't call him that.
Yeah, no. But let's go. I took myself on a tangent. But you know what I do love? Waterfalls. And I would chase them. You know who also chased them? Gino and Jasmine. Gino and Jasmine over this rocky terrain, honey. And he loves that waterfall. He feels such power. Wow. Do you want to go to a waterfall with me and just like feel its power?
Yeah.
Great.
I do. They have them in Panama. So that could all happen.
He also says that he has to, so, he decides that in this beautiful terrain, it's time to strike while the iron's hot, and she's not, which is like always, it's rocky, literally and figuratively, when he can get her in a good place to, I don't know, do anything. And he wants to FaceTime Dana. So he literally says, let's find some rocks and have a squat, which is like the most disgusting thing ever. And it sounds like you are about to pee or more.
Mm-hmm. It absolutely, or more. Yeah. So they sit on a rock to talk to the cousin Dana, or Dana, as it's pronounced, but I think she calls him Dana. She doesn't know. And so then they get on the phone with spaghetti, macaroni in a pot, Dana. And it's supposed to squash the beef between them two, which they have no beef. Like Jasmine's comment is Jasmine's frustration at Dana's comment is weird to me. And so he apologizes and he's like, hey, it just looks like you got a lot of work done to your face. And, I know Gino paid for it. And she's like, whatever Gino gives me, whatever he does for me is because of love. I love Gino. And I really don't think it's anyone's business. And so he's like, you're right. It's not my business. I wish you guys the best. And he apologizes and she rolls her eyes. She doesn't believe that the apology was sincere. Which I was like, it's the best apology I have ever seen from a family member who thinks that somebody from the other country is gold digging.
Yeah. Okay. I see what you're saying. Yeah, it is. It's just that I think that I think that it would have gone better for him if he hadn't brought up the plastic surgery and like beauty treatments. But unfortunately, this is what it is. She I'm no fan of hers, but if you're going to comment on a woman's looks or body, it's just never going to go right. Ever. Never. Like, just never, And so he's just like, you just do so many things to your face, and then it's like, oh, no, I'm not going to talk to you. Because immediately when a man brings up a female's looks, it's like, look at you. What are you talking about? Look, Dana, what? How can you even remark about my looks as being anything? How dare you even discuss the way I look? Who are you to bring up the fact that you can even see my face? Yeah, that's how I feel. Wow. I swear to God, yeah, that's how I feel. Now, having said that, Dana can be like, say anything else to Jasmine. You just cannot. It's where you shoot yourself in the foot, how you phrase it. You cannot talk about a woman's looks. He literally could have been like, Jasmine, I know my cousin, I'll be honest, just like gives you a lot of money. And I don't know, if he can afford it or can afford that lifestyle, or if you know what his lifestyle is like here. Then she would say, which she did say, he's a grown-ass man, and I'm just gonna let him being a grown-ass man, which is also true, you know? And then Dana had to do exactly what Dana can do, which is zip up his lip and go about this person's life. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, like when Dana, who has a face that's sagging from ear to ear, like, you know, I mean, like a hound dog is going to be like, well, on social media, I saw that you do some things. You know, it's like, who the fuck are you? Who the fuck do you think you are to ever talk to me or talk about what I've done to myself or what I do to myself? You are a disgusting spaghetti maker with a face that looks like it's been melting over a pot of hot water for the past 280 years. What are you talking about? And I mean that from a feminist female place. I, again, have no, like, you know, like no love of Jasmine. It just, this part triggers and irks me to no end when men talk about women's looks at all. And you can even say, like, but Chris, you'll talk about females' looks. And I'll be like, I know. I don't care. It's the same thing. Then fine. They're like, I feel like every female is my fucking sister. And I can talk about my sister, and don't you fucking talk about my sister. I don't, you know? I don't even know what to say about it. I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but I'm telling you passionately what I believe.
Yes. We passionately hear it from you.
Okay.
Great. I don't think it's right for him to be like, you've had this, you've had that, because he is a grown-ass man who is giving this money. And the truth is he should get out of this relationship. And if he wants to kind of continue to push it and then talking about like having kids possibly later, it's like wild.
Yep.
It's wild. So,
correct.
And also this isn't Gino's first time. He's brought in someone over on the K1 visa before. He knows what he's doing. Mm-hmm. All right, let's talk about our last not couple, Tyre. Is it the last one? Oh no, just kidding. It's not. We have two more.
I know when you said not couple, I was like, well, I thought you meant not because he's not in a couple.
He's not. Yeah. That's exactly what I meant.
Yep.
Too bad. We still have two more people left. So Tyre is sitting at the bar waiting for Camilla to come in. Camilla comes in and she isn't quite wearing the outfit that we thought she was wearing, but we still don't know what outfit she is wearing. It was like a lot of clothing and I couldn't tell what was happening. Also eyelashes, a lot, hair, a lot, nails, a lot, but he dug it. He felt like she came in dressed nice, smelling good, nails did, hair did, everything did, which I actually appreciate a man who can look at me and tell the effort that I have put in to looking good. Like if a guy were to be like, ooh, I love the chrome on your nails, I'd be like, thank you so much for noticing.
Chrome? You expect a guy to know chrome on your nails? Not like, I think you have an interesting nail job. You think a man's going to be like, I like the chrome on your nails? What is he like on a TikTok looking at Hailey Bieber's, you know, glazed donut nails and giving you...
Who's Hailey Bieber?
Hailey Bieber?
Oh.
Did I say her name wrong?
I don't know what you said.
Okay. Neither do I. I don't know her. Okay, but I will say this. Okay, I made a mistake. I got sharped.
Okay, tell us.
I got sharped because last episode they had a body shot of the person coming in, and I made the prediction that this person was going to be masked mask. And no, you know, this person is Camilla, and the Camilla that we met in pictures. She looks, you know, she is that person. Actually, she looks better facially than the person that was in the pictures. The way that she was dressed, I just registered as being like a different person, and then I see her and she's super cute. LOL that she comes in and she's like, looks at him and she's like, I got to put my glasses on. And then she puts her glasses on, sees him. And then he is smiling, honey, the biggest ear to ear, as Waz said, is so happy with what he sees. Then she's like, oh, got it. Got it. I'm just going to take these glasses off now. Don't need to see anymore, honey. I'm just going to put them away and I'm going to work with my memory.
That is crazy to me. Like I cannot talk to somebody if I don't have my glasses on or I can't see their face. They're talking to me and it just is like because I can't see them. So for her to just be so comfortable being blind, like she walked in there blind and then she was like, just kidding, I need to see what's happening, I need to see where all the chairs are. Okay, got it, and put it away. It is like wild. And then the conversation that they're having, he is so hopeful that she's going to like all of a sudden just be like, hey, I want to be your best friend. and she's not, but she's also nervous and weird too, which makes me feel like, is she a sex worker? Because we're supposed to believe that she's a sex worker and she can't come in and be like, hey honey, and like make him feel comfortable. He felt awkward thinking that she was uncomfortable, so we thought she was uncomfortable. And then at the end he asks very awkwardly if he can call her sometime and he's not going to be weird. He promises and laughs, and we're all like, oh, that's awkward.
You're right. Yeah, it's a barrel of questions. Like, yeah, is she a sex worker? Her demeanor is not her sheer. I mean, in the sense of she doesn't seem to want to finesse him for anything, especially just only. If you are a sex worker, what a gift to just be given this guy that would only probably pay so much to have sex with you, because he's already in love with an idea of you. I mean, you could really name your price, and she's not even close to that. So I don't know if, again, she's just someone who's been a victim of catfishes across the board. Honey, she put her pictures up early on MySpace and people just took them from Barbados to Modesto. I don't know, and just made all the sites. I don't like, is that it? So then, of course, in the dinner, he does kind of try and ask her if she at all knows Christian and or the people that catfished him. And she's like, no, don't know them at all. And how weird. And yeah, like she is incredibly empathetic and gracious towards and warm towards the end of this, to the point where I think that he, of course, wishes this was like low-key a date. And she's like, no, but I will hug you, which is lovely. Like, I thought that she was nice. And then, of course, she has a small confessional where the producers are like, so why'd you come? And she's like, I felt bad.
Yeah. Meanwhile, at the hotel, at the restaurant, right? Folks signed waivers and said that they agreed to be on the show, right? And then they fully proceeded to just be on the show. Just behind her, the server is whispering to them what's going on. Mm-hmm. They are having a great time. He has his phone out, so I wonder if he took pictures of them. And if so, what's his Instagram,
Absolutely. Yeah. Like in the scene, you can see them having this waiter and these two people having a very authentic waiter connected with patron meal. Like he's been telling them of the specials and they're eating them up. And he's obviously telling them that they're on the show. Now, why they sat them there is the LOL-iest of LOL. And doesn't the male in the scene look like an actor that is like a character actor that frequently plays?
Yes.
Oh God, why? I know, but like, and I wish from this moment that I could give you any more. It's like
he kind of looks like an older Jeremy Renner. Okay, Jeremy Renner is
yeah.
Okay.
yeah. I could see that, and she, she's cute too. I don't know who she is, but this, by the way, look at this restaurant. Like he took her to he picked this, or did she pick this place? I can't remember who did, but look at this restaurant. Like I love wallpaper of any kind. Give me some cheap rhinestoney kind of candelabras and yeah. Okay.
Yeah, no, he picked it. Yeah. And so, yeah, I thought it was a good time to be had. And he's like, the reason why I stayed in a dumb relationship for 4 years with somebody who I never saw was because I was really scared of putting myself out there in real life. And so now I think that I could put myself out there in real life.
Which I thought was great.
Mm-hmm. All right. Are you ready?
Let's move it on. Yeah,
right.
Two more.
We have got... Oh, we don't have a picture of Dempsey and Statler. We can save the best for last. So the scavenger hunt thing comes into play. Dempsey finds all the clues, but is very worried that Statler is going to propose. She thinks it's too soon. And then they get to she gets to the final stage. And there's Statler just eating a s'more like a fucking 3-year-old. And I was annoyed. I am done with her. I said it 2 episodes ago where I'm done with her being like, no, would you marry me? You sticky fingers. Like, I hate it.
Yeah, she's remember she is autistic.
Oh. No.
Isn't she?
She didn't. I don't think she.
I thought she said that she's on this.
Did she?
ADHD?
I don't know.
Oh, ADHD. Okay. For sure, ADHD.
For sure. Yeah, she's like, she sits next to her and she's like, this is better than I thought. I didn't expect you to be amazing as you are. And I'm like, I would have been a little offended. I'm like, we've been talking for months. And you're telling me that you fully came here and expected me to not be amazing as I am? That's weird.
Yeah, maybe that's like a mild neg to try and get the next thing to go over better, which it doesn't. I don't know. Like basically we've been knowing that Statler planned before. So it's funny. She says this, but it's like she's already been planning to moving there. She's been planning moving there before she was dating her. She'd been planning moving there when she was dating the other girl. Like Statler's Bananaramas, like, and she will even say that she moves too fast, and she'll have people tell that she moves too fast, and then she'll just like, then she doesn't understand it still. So like, there's, she needs some help too. So basically, yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, she definitely is like, I love you. When she's eating the s'more, and then Dempsey's like, I love you too. And then she's like, are you serious? Are you sure you love me? Are you like 100%? And Dempsey's like, yep. Mm-hmm. And then she's like, oh, so romantic. And I'm just like, oh, she bothers me. And then she drops the bomb and she was like, well, I'm thinking of moving here and living with you. My lease is up in a month. And Dempsey's like, no. No, can't do that. You can move here for sure if you want to. And if you want to like, live down the lane, yeah, that'd be great. And Statler gets upset and she's like, well, why? That seems dumb. Why would I do that? And I'm like, bitch, because you like English women. So just move to England so that you can be with one and it makes sense. You could date them normally and you want to live in England. So just move to England. She's like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, we should live together, which is a crazy thing to say. Like, I fully would love to be in a relationship and still live separately. I hate to say it. I'm too old. I cannot go and live with somebody right now or at any point. I figure we both have to have enough money for us to just buy houses next to each other. Or if we live in an apartment, we just get an apartment that's next to each other.
Yeah, I agree, and especially after like that would be the normal thing. And then especially after all the things that happened in the conversation with the dad and everything. But then, my God, Dempsey really does the smart thing where she's like, bitch, I just don't really know you. I'm still learning things. Like, for instance, like you just told me like that you had cheated before. And Statler's like, "Buh." And then Dempsey's like, and like, I don't even know a lot of things, like this ex-girlfriend, like when's the last time you talked to her? And Statler's like, a month ago. I'm sorry, what? Come again? Sorry, come again?
Get
that s'more out of your mouth, bitch, and answer a question.
She asked me to, I told her I met you and I was coming here, and she like asked me if she can come pick me up from the airport, and then we spend the night together to have some closure.
What? Closure for what? See, I didn't know that. No, I can't live with you. I can't. My dad was right. I can't live with you. No.
Ask me. I'm an open book.
No, I want to close that book. I'm just get to a new chapter, honey. I don't like this book.
See, people don't love me.
I can get it. I get it. You're not for us English girls. I want to take one for the team, honey. Like, go back to where you come from. But no, she's not like that. She's, like Dempsey, I know she's so sweet. She's so lovely, and Statler is just going to like, push her agenda on her or push herself on her, like if you ask to move in with someone and then that person says no in a very polite way, and then for you to be like, well, that doesn't make sense. It's like, well, you asked. Yes, it does, because you just asked a huge thing and that person said no very kindly as a boundary. And for you to say your boundary doesn't make sense is like, well, and LOL, like I think you're making it make sense right now. And then Dempsey has to go prove her point, being like, also look at this, and in that moment proves it. Like, Statler, take a goddamn seat. And can the seat be an American seat?
Yeah, flight American Airlines back home.
Yeah.
I cannot imagine in the space that I am in currently sharing it with somebody. And Statler's space seems even smaller. I can't, not Statler, Dempsey's space seems even smaller, and I could not do it. And Statler's like, yeah, no, that doesn't make it. I moved rather fast in my other relationships, and so I'm trying to take it slow, right? Yeah. And she's like, it doesn't make any sense, I'm stupid. So we have that dumb conversation, and now we're just like, I'm fully against Statler. It's just like, why can't they give me people? I guess I'm always against one couple, but this has like 3 couples I can't watch.
Well, yeah, because Statler isn't good enough for our Dempsey, and we know that, and Dempsey's dad knows that. But LOL. It would be hilarious. I want to go to the next person, but it would be great if we do get a scene with Statler's ex now.
That would be amazing. But let's take a little break. Okay, next couple, last couple, for real this time, is going to be David and Sheila, aka Filipino Eartha Kitt.
Yeah, that is that.
Mm-hmm. Crack. She fucking looks like Eartha Kitt to me.
She does. Yeah, it's jawline, and it's like that shaped face, and it's beautiful. She's gorgeous, and it's
deeply insecure. Which is so annoying. So we start off with David.
Cannot believe. So sorry. It is otherworldly that this happened to her and that this is happening to her. Like, I feel like I can't even believe it. Like, anyway, all right, go on.
No, you're right. It's. I feel like the producers are like, oh my God, yes, our segment. This is the way I imagine 90 Day Fiancé happening. People apply. They pick like 10 couples, okay? Then they send producers out to each couple to just produce a really good ass thing, right? And whoever wins gets their show put on. And the other folks don't get on 90 Day Fiancé. They usually get on something else. Like maybe they are like, some other spinoff show that we don't know. Match Me Abroad. No, just kidding. So we have a scenario here where it's like the perfect storm. It's a sad ass storm, but it is a kind of great production, I think. So you start. I've been talking a lot.
Oh no, I was just gonna. My mind was like, she's gonna say it was a greatly produced storm, but we pick up. David is doing personal grooming in a hotel bathroom. It's white, so it's like already we are now in a stark difference than anything else we've seen so far, which is a showered, clean David caring about his appearance and grooming. And I feel like he feels like he smells good. So I'm like, oh, okay. And then, we're going to do the thing where we go back and forth if he can't hear the buzzing of his thing, because he's deaf. And, God bless. So Sheila is hot off of her mother's tragic death that probably was caused by the fact that production and other bigger individuals taxed an already decimated, disintegrating infrastructure of her parents' home that caused stairs to become unstable underneath her delicate mother's foot in the middle of the night, causing her mother to fall, have no one somehow find her, and then just die horribly. And now Sheila has a dead mom, a dad, and a home that is unlivable. No money, is on TV, and truly has a gentleman there that she's likes and really enjoys, and for some reason has more money than her, and she doesn't know how much he has. And it's like such a crazy situation, because like we know what it's like to have someone just like want someone for money, and that is not the vibe Sheila has, and no one could need more money right now than Sheila. And like this is other fucking worldly.
Yeah, I was like trying to see if there was some kind of GoFundMe for her. Like somebody must have set something up. Like there's no way we could all watch this and no one be like, hey, we could cobble together $1,700, because that is like the littlest amount of money when they turned it around and it was $1,725 and this man was like, I can't. I was like, I want to help David too. You don't have $1,700? I want to help him too. So so let's go chronologically. So he comes downstairs and Sheila's there with the interpreter. She's no longer mad that Amy's around. Amy has helped just their communication probably by far. So now it's the three of them. And from here on out, it's going to be the three of them, I feel. So we get Amy and Sheila. Sheila's wearing a backwards trucker hat. And I don't know what was the motivation, but you just reminded me that her mother just passed away a few days ago. So like at this point, if she wanted to wear anything backwards, like her shirt or her pants, I would support it. She is talking to David just about like what their day is going to look like, and the fact that she's so sad and David doesn't know what to do. And then they go to her house with a contractor to see how much everything is going to cost to fix it. And that contractor walked in and was like, this, we're going to fix that. We're going to change this. We're going to make this. And Amy was like, doing the translation for that. And then we get the news of like she asks him point blank, how much do you make? And he says 800 a week. And when he said 800 a week with 2 jobs, I was like, what? Nebraska needs to do better.
Yeah, it's like, God. He makes, we don't know what comes out of taxes. We don't know like what he has. So when they say that it ends up being 1,700, I can get a world in which maybe he thought it'd be like 500 or 600. Like, I'm not saying that's right. Like, I have no idea. Like, he probably has no idea. Like, well, of course, no American construction would be nowhere near 1,700 to fix that whole house. And what they do the flooring, it'd be like a $50,000 to $100,000 job. Okay, so I don't know. He has no realm to understand how much it would be. Neither does she. She has no idea how much money he makes. She has no idea how much it's going to be. Neither of them know what the conversion is. Amy's there now, and because of all of this, Sheila's like jealousy towards Amy or whatever, like at least has been like suspended, because it's like low-key, God bless it, Amy's there a little bit, like Amy does provide an understanding between these two individuals that have to really communicate in a situation that is like not fucking easy. And the fact that so chronologically, they get the information. David says, oh, we have to talk about that privately. They leave that. They go to a bar. They go to suddenly a bar that Sheila has picked. It's called Barcode or something like that. I was like, in my mind, I was like, is it going to be like, arcades or whatever? They get there. It's a bunch of it's like definitely a younger vibe, of people for sure. It's like Amy's, not even Amy's like people though. It's like kind of like a younger party vibe. And they all want to drink beer, like, I don't know what kind of beer. It seems like maybe there's one beer on the menu because it is the thing that it is answered, and there's something that's poured in front of them. So it's one kind, they get that one kind. In my mind, it was like, if they had said wine, would there have been one? It's so interesting. If they had said vodka, anyway. But basically, thank God Amy's there, because Sheila gets to be like, I don't want you to think I'm a fucking gold digger, but Can you believe that my mom just died and I have to fix this and I don't have any money? Anyone to ask? Like, what?
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. It is definitely a rock and a hard place in which to be. But David can't even afford right now to be in the Philippines. Like that is what I'm like. It's
yes.
I understand that to certain people, 100,000 pesos or 1,700 US American USD is a lot, but he's
been giving her money. So how much has he been giving her? Like $20 here, $20 there, and it's like
it goes a lot. Because Chris, listen, I am not the richest person in the world, and I know that people.
Yes, you are.
I know that people. 1,700 is a lot, but for a man who's dating somebody overseas and who went overseas and is like paying for things, for him to not have 1,700 saved is like very interesting. Because the truth is if this were Gino and Jasmine, I feel like I don't know. Like, I feel like this is an easy, like this, I don't know. This is a really cheap, hey, I have to give my fiance some money to fix her whole home. And all it is $1,700. Like, he's getting off really light. I feel like, he's not dating a Jasmine who like wants money for her face or, whatever. Like, I don't know.
Oh my God. If this was Jasmine would have been like, you killed my mother. You have to pay. You killed her. You gave her your big fat. You killed her with your big feet. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yes. To me, if you don't have $1,700, don't fly to another country so far away. Come back home, because you could easily just, he could end up in jail. He could end up in Filipino jail and not have money. It's just like crazy. I did one time, I traveled to Japan with not a lot of money, and my cousin was like, no, you can't travel like this, Wahima. he was like, you cannot travel if you don't have money to get yourself out of jail. I was like, oh, what a great point.
Oh, you mean like cash on you?
No, not cash on me, just access to it, right?
Yeah, I guess I'm like, this is whatever. Okay, we all have credit cards. No, okay, maybe that's a privilege. That's a privilege. It's fair to say that we don't all have credit cards, but he has a credit card.
Mm-hmm.
But this man that is going to probably do the work isn't going to take maybe a credit card. Mm-hmm. So what is it that he just doesn't have? Yeah, $1,700 in cash. But then I think about it. It's like, do you think that he traveled with any cash to Thailand? You know, with Philippines, right? Sorry, Philippines.
I don't know, because here's my thought. Like, what I'm saying is that he has a card, so he could put the card in some machine.
Yes,
he could go to the bank with the card.
The ATM. Okay, but if it's an ATM, then he only can take out how much money he has. But if he has a credit card, can you get a cash advance over?
Yes, he can.
That's what yes.
So it's like, to me, 1,700 is not 17,000. So it's less than 2,000. It's not that much for what she's asking. And I'm not saying that he should give it to her. I'm just saying the fact that he doesn't have it is cause for concern. I don't want her nor John Rell, or whatever her son's name is, to go live with someone who doesn't have enough money to take care of them.
That's kind of what she then says. I didn't know how much money he had, but it does give me pause that I want a better life, and what can he give me? But at the same time, I want to be like, well, girl, he could definitely give you anything better than what you've ever, but that's there, you know, because he has a house. So it's like they have to get to America. And so I guess maybe that's the next point. Like, let's see if we can get John Orell, whatever her lovely son's name is, on board to America. And I'll tell you right now, that man's not on board. I mean, I'm not saying he has to be on board, but for a youngin' who may have access to any sort of Western media, you know, if the choice is to come to America, like, that person has seen some shit and been like, not for me. And that man's grandma just died because it's not easy to live there. And that's how much that person's like, no. And that's maybe also how much that person might hate David for the fact that David might have killed the grandmother.
But also David brought him that whack ass gift, and now we know why. So I just worry the fact that he's in this relationship with her and he's just barely surviving himself. That's my main thing. Because
I think you're right.
If somebody were to ask me for $1,700, I would give it to them because, like, yeah, your whole house is like, here you go. And I'm not saying he's not doing it because he's mean. I'm just saying, like, it's not a lot to ask, is what I'm saying.
It's also because he watched it happen. Like, you know, this isn't something where he gets a sudden text like, hey, guess what? Mom died and my house needs $1,700 in repair. Yeah. This person watched it. So the fact that he doesn't readily give it truly either means one of two things. He does not have it, or he is very cheap.
Mean. It's also mean. He's also mean and cheap. But we know it's not that. We know he just doesn't have it, and which causes me to have other concerns. And I think she's right for not wanting to. If she did, because she wouldn't be able to work for months. She would have her son there. Like, it would be a lot. So, anyways, y'all, we made it through. So, if y'all like what we're doing here, we love that you love it. So we will talk to you guys later. But first, if you want to join us on Patreon, we can do so. You can do so on patreon.com/DocuSweeties. It's $10 a month, live every first Monday of the month. But if you can't do that, Chris can tell you.
Go to Instagram and then type in @DocuSweeties. And then, of course, @DocuSweeties on TikTok, @DocuSweeties on X. And then, of course, we have a Facebook too. So get in, get on. We love you so much.
Bye.
Bye.